Rise. Commissioner Notstein, if you may lead us in a prayer and a pledge.
Lord God, with our 250th year celebration of freedom, protection, and blessings in America next year, help us not to forget the blessings and opportunities you have given us each day. On this 4th of July weekend, we thank you for the blessings of liberty for this generation and for the generations to come. We pray for the safety of all our military every day. We thank you for our independence and for all those who have bravely given their lives in defense of our freedom and justice. Today, we do not presume your grace for our country. Our industry and businesses are in need of you. Breathe new life into our nation. May we find peace throughout our world and learn to live in peace and harmony. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Your first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held June 19th, 2025.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Are there any guests here concerning county business? Hearing none.
Next item is the opening of bids via Pennbid, CDBG Palmerton Borough, Muck-Chunk Road south to Franklin Avenue to 500 feet before Fire Line Road.
Which one is it? Not this one, the reconstruct.
Reconstruct Muck-Chunk Road south.
Okay.
Brasalente Construction, $220,548.75. Construction Master Services, $224,381.60. Freilinger Construction Group, $341,940. Lehigh Asphalt Paving, $221,865.50. Ronnie Folk Paving, $239,888.33. Cobalt Construction, $312,887.
Yeah.
Table.
Turn it over to planning and development for award or rejection in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Next item, street improvements, reconstructs Mary Ann Alley, Tunnel Street to Old Muck-Chunk Road. No, not Banks,
It's Banks.
no. That one, yeah, Palmerton Borough.
Bruce George Paving, $116,259.10. Freilinger Construction Group, $170,073. Gaver Industries, $180,760. Lehigh Asphalt Paving, $122,503. Cobalt Construction, $194,060.
Motion to turn the bids over to planning and development for awardal or rejection in 2 weeks, or at their next meeting.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Okay, next item is the report of executive sessions held.
Excuse me. We had one executive session held on Monday, June 30th at 10 a.m., and it was to discuss personnel.
Next item, department reports, number 25-345, the budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25-346, the supplemental appropriations.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Number 25-347, expenditures dated June 27th, 2025.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Number 25-348, this is dated June 19th, 2025.
Motion. Go ahead.
Second, or motion, whatever.
Motion to Wayne, second to Rocky.
Sounds good.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 24-349, expenditures dated June 20th, 2025.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25-350, expenditures dated June 26, 2025.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25-351, expenditure dated to June 25th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25-352, expenditures dated July 3rd, 2025.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25-353, two treasurers' reports.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. We are recessed now and going to the salary board.
Okay, your first item is the approval of the minutes of the salary board meeting held June 5th, 2025, and reconvened June 19th, 25, with the noted correction.
Motion approved with corrections.
Second?
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Are there any guests here concerning salary board business? Hearing none.
Report of executive sessions held.
There was one held on June 30th, 2025 at 1:30 PM in the afternoon.
Your next item, recorder of deeds.
Morning.
Morning.
I'd like to make a motion to change the rate of one coordinator of records / indexer from $14.56 per hour, grade 2, step B, to $15.67 per hour, grade 3, step C, effective July 7th, 2025.
Second.
Mrs. Gentile?
Yes.
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is Children and Youth Services. Establish the position of one program specialist at the rate of $27.17 per hour, grade S7, step I, effective July 7th, 2025.
Motion established.
Second?
Second?
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Abolish the position of one administrative assistant at $18.35 per hour, grade S3, step A, effective July 7th, 2025.
Motion abolished.
Second?
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And change the rate of one county casework supervisor 1 from $21.25 per hour, grade S5, step C, to $21.78 per hour, grade S5, step D, effective July 7th, 2025.
Motion to change the rate.
Second.
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
That's it.
And with that, is there a need for us to sit in recess here? No, we don't have anything. Okay. Then we will adjourn that, and we will reconvene the commissioners' meeting.
The next item is number 25354, the personnel report for county departments.
Motion to approve the county department personnel report.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Number 25355, the acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion to approve the court personnel report.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Next item, adult probation, number 25356, an intergovernmental agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Advertising, number 25356, and 25 ESG grant, public hearing. Hearing. 25358, the Appalachian Community Resilience and Response Mini Grant Program.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Children and Youth. Item number 25359, a revised proposal from WBRE 28.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25360, the revised invoice report.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25361, a revised purchase of service agreement with the Impact Project.
Motion to table.
I'll second that.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Communications 911, item number 25362, a renewal service agreement with CK Alarms.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25363, a proposal from Sean Kresge Electrical.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The correctional facility, item number 25364, the water heater replacement.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
County Buildings and Grounds, number 25365, the courthouse Sallyport door.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Courts Computer Info, item number 25366, a proposal from CTI.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
GIS mapping, item number 25367, a data sharing agreement, Luzerne County.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The MAT program, the fiscal year 25-26 medical assistance program, participation agreement.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25369, the Multimodal Transportation Fund Grant Program, County Bridge number 4.
Motion to approve, adopt, and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Planning and Development, item number 25370, CDBG, Section 504 Officer.
Motion to approve and authorize.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Number 25371, CDBG Fair Housing Notice.
Motion to adopt
Second.
and motion to advertise.
Okay. Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25372, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, an online access request.
Motion to adopt and to authorize the advertisement.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Okay, well, the solicitor isn't here, so the solicitor's report, the cooperation agreement, NEPA for Little Leaf Farms, number 25377,
Motion
373, excuse me.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 25374, the resolution for the Centenarian Myrtle S. Haight of Palmerton.
Motion to approve and ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Let me take a look here. I'm gonna pull a Bob here,
Okay.
okay? For approval, tax assessment, tax refunds number 25375, 25376, and 25377.
Motion approved. The
Second.
three.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Is there any further business?
I have none at this time.
Okay. Commissioners' reports. Mr. Honor?
I don't really have, I just wish everybody a great holiday this weekend and try to watch how your driving is.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Notstein?
Yes, Commissioner Sofranco and I had the opportunity to attend a birthday party for a 100-year-old and to watch this lady walk down the hallway with her walker. Her mind was 100%. We see people less than 40, 30 years of age, a lot less function mentally and physical ability. It was a nice little event to honor the lady's birthday, so we wished her well and many, many more years as well. So, happy 4th of July. Please be safe out there. Tis the season, for the fireworks. Hopefully, everybody comes back next week with all their fingers and toes, etc. Water safety, I got to bring that up because several calls here already this year. I know we have recovered 7 victims, not rescued 7 people. And the most alarming of all was the last one where 2 8-year-olds and a 10-year-old were rescued in Walnutport. And those are the ages I was given by the one of the rescue people the other day. So 2 of the children had life jackets on, 1 did not. The parents, one showed up later looking for his daughter. They were successfully rescued and they're okay, but it's the idea that children are out there along the rivers, in the rivers, not knowing, especially at that age, and without a life jacket. And even while we were drilling with the boat in the Lehigh River a week ago Monday, the rafters coming down, one with wasn't even a decent raft, it was a Walmart rafter, those little plastic tubes, which rupture if you hit a rock. 3 out of the 4 did not have a jacket on. 1 was in the water, bare shirt, and in the rapids. And people just don't realize the power of water. There have been several drownings throughout the state already. It's been way too busy for us for water calls, water rescues or recoveries, and it's, I don't see it going away, especially with the hot weather. So I just want to warn it. I know it's on the news all the time, but people just don't listen and think it'll never happen to them. It does happen, and it's a shame, especially when a child is involved. You know, be safe out there and make sure you know where your children are. Happy 4th. That's all I have.
Mr. Sifranco?
There's a few things. One is, commissioners did have the opportunity, as Commissioner Nostine and I had mentioned, but I think people sometimes tend to forget, Little Carbon County, and you see a lot of negative, but here's some positives. This week we had the opportunity to spend some time at Little Leaf Farms. And it should be noted, they're here in Carbon County in the northern tier. They are the largest indoor lettuce manufacturer in the world. I mean, that's pretty impressive if you ask, and I was really impressed by what all they offer, and the employment opportunities that they offer up there. We do have some infrastructure concerns we have to address as far as how to get people to live in Carbon County and work there, and housing issues, which we are working, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it should be noted that's really I was very impressed by that, and happy to see that we're going to continue to work with them, and you see that on the agenda here today. The other one is, as you go to Ampow, we were down in Pomerton. I kind of went from one side of the county to the other, and Pomerton, Ampow is the largest manufacturer of aluminum powder in the United States. I mean, that's really good, very good for Carbon County that, we have two of the biggest manufacturers of those specific items in Carbon County, and it just shows the diversity of what we have in the county, from farming to industrial. It's really good. So commissioners are obviously working with both of those areas to continue to grow. People say, what are you doing about jobs? Just last week, they announced a new line down there. We'll be bringing 15 more jobs, skilled labor there. So I think that's a very big step in the right direction. I know everybody always says, well, where's those companies with 150, 400, 500 jobs? Well, I'm happy that we can get 15 here, 20 here, 15 here, and just like that, you have 100 jobs. The other thing I wanted to bring up was bridges. You see a lot about bridges. Val, Commissioner Arner, have been keeping myself and Commissioner Nostine very well abreast, but they've been working extremely hard in getting money out there for bridges and trying to apply and get some funding here. It's something that we haven't done in many, many years. It's a step we took in the right direction about a year and a half ago to begin going out and pursuing it. So as fast as we're pursuing it, I thank everyone that's involved in that. As they're out looking for money, our county administrator over there is continuously trying to find money, and I thank her for that, and Val and Rocky, because they're really doing a good job, and that kind of plays into the fact where we said about infrastructure. It really, if we don't get our bridges right, we're gonna have some issues. And as Commissioner Nostine and I were down in Pomerton, and I know Rocky had been down there was some discussion about the covered bridge. And we do have concerns there, that as you close bridges, you're gonna put more traffic on a bridge that all three of us have dealt with as issues. So there are some good things happening there with bridges. The only other part I'd like to talk on is a little bit here, and that has to do with the state budget. The state budget is in an impasse. The commissioners at this table and staff here in the commissioner's office and every row office holder and every department head has worked very hard over the last year, holding their budgets in line and keeping it where we need our spending in check and making sure that we can pay our bills. Well, once again, the state budget sits at an impasse. That everyone says, well, what are you going to do? Well, it's time that, I don't know what they did in the past. I know previous administrations, and I'm not blaming Democrats or Republicans, I'm just saying previous administrations seem to get a budget done on time. This is what, our third year? My second, that we don't have a state budget. People need to understand when we don't have a state budget, all of those services, those human services come back to the county, which means we need to find money in our budget, which is extremely tight, and we try to keep that tight. We need to find money for children and youth. We need to find money for the Office of Aging. We need to provide 911, courts, elections. All of that still has to go on, and those bills still have to be paid. And when everyone complains about a fund balance and having a fund balance, well, you can see where our fund balance gets eaten up real fast. Not to mention, while that fund balance is being eaten up, which we worked very hard to get over the last year, we don't get no interest. So the next savings that we can pass along to the taxpayers or even give back to the department heads who have been working hard to do that is gone because the state doesn't say, well, we're sorry, the governor didn't pass the budget. We're sorry, you're gonna get your money later on. Yeah, we will, but I never have yet, at least in my 18 months, have seen an interest check with that for money we've lost. So I would simply ask those that are in authority out there, from the governor's office all the way down, to work for the taxpayers here, especially in Carbon County. Pass the budget, come to terms, come to the table, because it's not fair to the elderly, it's not fair to the people who are working, and it's not fair to the college students that are getting out that there isn't a budget passed, and that their inactivity or their inability to work together is really costing not only Carbon County, but every county in the state of Pennsylvania. That's my comment on that. It is very upsetting. And,
I'd like to add
ahead.
that, if I may, counties and local municipalities are required to have their budgets passed, but yet the state and federal government, you know, they make their own rules. They continue, they're on vacation, they're not down there in session working. You know, in my opinion, as of midnight, June 30th, they should all be in Harrisburg until that budget is passed. Those people should not be paid. The elected officials that control that should not be paid and not recover their salaries. Let's say it takes a whole month of July. They should not be paid for that month. They have a responsibility to have it completed by June 30th and signed by the governor. This affects us all, it affects the taxpayers, and it costs us more money. And they sit at home doing nothing or partying, just like we went to on the 4th of July.
And it puts us in a predicament because we have to get a loan to pay the bills. That's the bottom line. So get it done.
Yeah, get it done. And you know, leadership starts at the top. So, Governor, you know, get out from, you know, stop worrying about tourism for maybe 3 weeks and do us a favor and pass a budget. Do what it does. Get those people, because honestly, it is affecting, it's going to affect it began July 1. You know, we finally have children and youth getting bills in. You see them getting paid. We're on top of all of that. We hired an outside firm. We're getting our bills in. We all know you're going to have that quarter lag. But now, that's not fair to the taxpayer. It is not. So the governor's mansion needs to get all those houses and the Senate together and fix this problem. Because I looked in the past, and I'm not picking one administration over the other because I'm not here to do that. But I do have to wonder why 3 years ago, we could pass a budget on time for 3 years or 4 years straight. Now, all of a sudden, we can't. There's something wrong, and it's not fair. That's all I have to say on that. I don't want to leave on a negative note, but I would say this to everyone. Commissioner Notstein mentioned, make sure everybody comes back in Monday morning with all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. So I'd ask you to please do that. Please, my grandfather always said, unless you're in a raft or with somebody, stay out of the river. It's not real safe. He doesn't need to spend his holiday, nor do any of our fine volunteers down fishing people out of the river for those who just want to, you know, be a little overzealous this weekend. So enjoy your holiday, enjoy your picnic, enjoy the birthday of the United States, and have a good weekend. We'll see you all Monday. That's all I have. And that will adjourn the meeting. I guess we'll start in the back. Did we start back there last week? Yes. No, we'll start there this week.
Okay, so in regards of how the state budget is actually affecting Hardin County, can you expand on that a little bit and explain what you mean?
Well, Office of Aging receives money from state funding. It all trickles down. Everybody talks about trickle down. Well, here you go. So now if we don't start getting money to keep the Office of Aging, all of that running, the county has to find money within our budget to pay those salaries and keep those aging offices open throughout the state. That's one. Children and youth, we file funding and reports so that funding flows into children and youth. If the states obviously don't have a budget invest, then they don't have the money to give to them. So now all of a sudden, where do we pay those employees? And is it fair to say, well, we can't close children and youth? There's children that are going to need them. There's families that are in distress. There's another area. Mental health. out where we were involved with Carbon Monroe Pike and Carbon Monroe Pike joiner boards, they're getting funding through the state that can affect their funding. So everything starts to affect everybody by the end of July 30th, because all of that starts to run out. There becomes an impasse. You're going to hear, well, some departments are affected and some aren't. Well, it's easy to say that, but all of that affects the county because we still have to provide those human services that go out there. I mean, 911 is another one. There's an impact fee that is collected that we budget accordingly. We have to find money for that. So all of that is supposed to come out of savings that the county has. Well, that's not fair to the county because, we get into it. People always say, what about taxes in the county? There's not one of us up here that want to raise taxes. But every year when you're looking at this unfortunate happening, if you don't have basically a fund balance, well, we can't shut down the county. I mean, now you're out borrowing money and then the balance goes down, the borrowing rate goes up. There's a huge effect when the state says, well, we just can't pass a budget. And it's not just Carbon County, it's every county. And, you can say, well, the smaller counties are affected more than the larger counties. It doesn't matter what your budget is, the percentage is the percentage for everybody. So those all come out. I mean, I don't know if the other commissioners have anything to add to that, but it is a huge effect.
Well, when we don't get the money, we start closing bridges or departments.
Well, Rocky, you mentioned taking out a loan. Is that something you guys are looking at for this?
Well, I don't know if it probably can get to that point. We might have enough money to survive for a week or two, but as you keep going and you got to pay for children and youth and things for aging, it's going to come to that. I mean, you still have salaries to meet. It's like, I just don't, I mean, and I have other issues where like funding goes to. I think some of the funding that goes to other areas should come to the county because we're doing a lot of work for different, how could I say it, like the one that was on the agenda today. It's something that's gonna be a program that's gonna be in the schools. And I think they gotta start looking, instead of fighting over the budget, they ought to start fighting over where the money goes and where the appropriate entities should get it. Because like I said, we have two caseworkers we have one in Lehighton and one in Panther Valley that the county's paying for at the school. So I think they have to start looking at where the money goes too, not just fighting over if they wanna sell marijuana legally or whatever. I mean, it's like they ought to get into the depth of it, not just, I mean, I don't even know where to start. There's so many things that there's issues and they're just fighting over little things, like get it done. And they have everything, like House bills or Senate bills are connected with every other Senate bill. How can you get anything accomplished when there's 5 other bills connected to it? Get one bill done at a time and get it over with, plain and simple. Like, I don't know what they're doing. And I think it's at the national level, they're doing that too. It's not just the state.
And then in terms of the bridges, what's going on with the bridges right now?
Nothing at this time. I was at Demensing yesterday, and Ellie sent me that I was on the news, and it's one of those things that if we don't get the funding for, and I have to give a little bit of a plug for our new senator. He's actually moving our appropriations to the appropriations for us to get more funding. So I'm hoping that that'll go through for the Packer Township Bridge. And, but, I mean, that's what we need. We need this money coming in, or where's the county gonna get $10 million to fix bridges? What do we have in our fund balance? Or in our, like, 1 million, which is going very quickly when you submit it for 5 bridges. We don't even have enough to actually even finish one bridge up. So that's what we need. Like, they gotta, and there's another thing from the national level, this infrastructure money that was supposed to be coming out. We were expecting that it was supposed to come to the local levels. And it went to PennDOT, and here we sit again, and we had $10 million worth of work to do, even like the one there at Palmerton, or at Lower Temensing. I think it's like 120 $110,000 to $120,000 to fix, and where are we gonna get the money for that? You know, like, I can't really tell you where to start. I think they ought to look at each individual project and see which one is needed instead of worrying about having east and west roads going for the interstate to move. Don't forget, there's north and south roads and bridges that are owned by the counties and township that need work also.
So are there any grants in the works right now that you guys are in the process of trying to get?
Yeah, we're working on quite a few of them. I think the biggest one is from like McCormick there. That's like, I think 1.6 million, I think. So hopefully that'll come through, and that's for the Packer Township Bridge, which will get us pretty much on our way.
Multimodal, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, but all the grants
All in
require a
between.
match, so
yeah,
that's why all of these applications are going through
Yeah.
to try to get more funding to reduce that match requirement.
yeah, and some of them, like you need, like even to start the process, the one that we own, the bridge with Luzerne, that's like 73,000. We need to just start the application process. So if you have 5 of them in and they're all like that, next thing you need $500,000 just to get the process started, you know? Yeah, it's like, I don't know why it costs that much money, but it's a blueprint, okay?
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning, how are we?
Pretty good yourself. Let's talk about why you guys tabled the impact project.
Let's just say this, the impact project is under review. The commissioners had some concerns. It had been forwarded to our solicitor, who marked it up and gave some concerns. That contract then came back. The solicitor has not had time to fully review it and give advice back to the county. And and I'm going to be right up front, yeah, I'm not willing to vote on something until I hear from the solicitor that the concerns of Carbon County have been met onto that. We are aware that there is money in the children and youth budget and their needs, I think their needs-based budget, am I correct? Or to pay for 80% of that budget. The county would still be on hook for 40% of it. But I'm going to also say this, as the state of the state currently sits, thank you, Governor Shapiro, and I'm not picking on anyone, the county is on the hook for for all of it,
40,000.
240,000. Because if we started that project right now, all of that funding has to come from the county because there's not a state budget guaranteeing any of that in place. So I don't know if there's cuts going on there. I don't know what the shifts are. I know they approved. I don't think any commissioner here at this time is willing to say yes or no. And I don't think anybody up here, and if I speak out of turn, please say it. I don't think anyone here is against the project or thinks it's not a worthwhile program that's out there. And it's not worth looking into, and that it's not beneficial. However, the cost for that right now gets incurred completely by the county with offset, but then there's, even if the county gets it, there's a billing cycle you go through, and we're waiting sometimes quarter, 2 quarters, Ellie? 3 quarters to get that money back. So that's another thing. Like we said here earlier, we need to make sure there's money available to pay payrolls before we worry about starting another program. And that's not, and it's also has to do with the solicitor's advice. So it's a double-edged side there.
We didn't get the contract, or the solicitor did not get that 81-page contract till Friday. So it was a lot of information, and not everyone mentioned in the program was even aware of the program per our conversation that we had last week. And one of the district attorney's office was not fully aware of all the issues in it and that. So it seems like it came to us too late to act too fast. They wanted it done July 1st. Well, that's not gonna happen. We didn't get the contract till Friday. So looking to postpone it. We're questioning, can we do it ourselves?
And I think along those lines too, I do know that this organization does do work in I think it's at Northampton and Lehigh County. I don't want to speak out of thing here, but one county has an MOU with their district attorney to provide this. The other one has a contract with the county. This would be a contract specific to Carbon County, and some of those concerns that our solicitor had were not being Carbon County specific. And that needed to be part of the contract. So if you're trying to compare it to the other two counties, their arrangements and how it runs and how it works, maybe that of what would be similar in Carbon County, but how it works is different in who signs it. And in Carbon County, because of the way government is set up, all contracts are signed by the commissioners and the Board of Commissioners, I should state. And with that being said, we just want to make sure before anything is signed that it's all the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted. And still look into the program a little bit because there is some concerns there as well.
And this is a program that's gonna be specific to schools. And that's where my thing is, that I think the funding, some of this should come to the county. And they're telling us that everybody's on board with it, the DA, the schools, the magistrates, everybody. But what is the school's buy-in on this? I mean, there has to be reporting, so who's gonna do that? Are the social workers gonna do it? The truant officers? And we really never got anything on how this is gonna be set up. I mean, we were told, but then when you look at this 81-page contract, like, what is it? You know, and I think one of the, when we talked to them, it was like, to get it fully up and running, it takes 2 years. So like, we're gonna pay for 2 years for just to them to organize a committee to try to figure out what they're gonna do, because there's gonna be a board that's gonna do referrals one way or the other. And it's like, I don't know, felonies versus just a little incident, so who's gonna determine which one is which? And I know the DA has been involved with it a little bit, but I'd like to hear from him also, and the schools, like who's gonna be involved. And next thing, it comes back here, and then just like the children and youth, them two caseworkers, now the county is paying. So go back to the budget again, give us the money, and I have no problem putting people in the schools. But why should the funding for the schools get it, and then we gotta pay on top of it? Are we actually double dipping? I don't know. You know, what are the schools responsible for?
Now, under correspondence, there's that administrative order. Is this in relation to this? What you-
Yes.
Yeah.
May I get a copy of that, please?
And
And the
if
go ahead.
Go ahead.
And the
You-
administrative order says, supposed to implement the plan. It doesn't say we're supposed to have a contract for $240,000. You know what I mean? It's like we're supposed to implement a plan, and all of a sudden, like Wayne said, I think on last week, we got the contract, you know, and that's not how we deal with things here.
With regards to the Josiah White Park, ACCR application you guys are doing, I see you're trying to help with trash and everything in the park. I know it's been an issue because of the heavy tourism. Can you talk a little bit about how that would help?
What had happened is, I think last weekend, weekend before, obviously the crowds in Jim Thorpe continue to grow, and trying to get people there all the time to continue empty trash, it becomes labor intense. I'm not gonna, and if someone calls in sick or people are entitled to weekends off and you can't get scheduled, so we're looking at how to adjust that schedule accordingly and have manpower there to address that. But in the intern, Val, and I give Anna Scheigel credit, they had called it and asked me about, can you get a compactable garbage can? And basically what that is you can put 5 times more garbage in that can than you could in a normal. One of the pictures that were sent to us had numerous pizza boxes all over the place. And the park really looked like, it looked like a dump. There's no other way to say it. So we thought, well, if there's no cost to look into this and everything's solar and it's not a matter of running power lines and digging up in lines, is it something that maybe the county could look at getting a couple of these type of cans that would cut down on the amount of, not the amount of garbage, but down on the amount of times you have to purchase it, not purchase it, but service it and everything else. So as long as there's no cost to the county to purchase a garbage can like that, and there's a grant out there, and Green Grant, wherever Val and Anna found this, I credit them. We're willing to take a shot at applying for it. And if we can get those type of cans, it definitely will. Now, I know the next thing's gonna be, well, there's 5 times the amount of garbage in there, so then it's gonna be 5 times as heavy. We get that. And there is a piece of equipment that comes with it to handle that issue too. So don't think, oh, now they're gonna smash cans. No, there's a whole setup of how it's done, and there's a safety, it was very well looked into, but, I mean, I think it's something that would be different, would be kinda unique. Whether or not we get any type of grant, we did not commit any county funds to that in a dumpster some other way. That's, like Rocky said, it saves money, so.
And then one last thing I have is on the personnel report. I see Warden Youngkin is officially retired, again. And Derek is taking over as warden. Is, anything you guys would like to say in regards to that transition?
Oh, just that I think Derek's the right person for the job. He's been the warden's right-hand man and attending a lot of the meetings and been there quite a few years. And I'm not going to speak for the rest of the board, but I think they would be in agreement, most of them, that there was no, there was some discussion on advertising and that when it came down to it, why waste our time? It was support of the whole prison board, I would say, that wanted to move on, not waste time in doing interviews when we knew we had a person that could do the job.
Yeah, and I think with Jim before, Jim left and he came back, and I have to give a little bit of a plug for him because he brought things back to our prison that he implemented in there that made our prison better. So I don't want to, I want to wish him lots of luck. And I said to everybody, whenever you can get out and retire, go. Life is short. And Derek's was a good choice. I mean, he filled in when Jim was gone or went on vacation, and he did an excellent job. So there was really no other choice. Because I think before, when we interviewed, when we got Jim, we had applications from all over the country. And yeah, they were good, but they wanted $150,000. So I think that's the, to come to a county like this, and Derek is well capable of doing the job.
And then I didn't see any salary board motion of changing the salary for the warden position. So does that mean Derek's just going to go into the salary that's currently? in the
Correct.
budget?
Yes.
Yeah, and what should be noted is when the prison board met, their advice was obviously to do what had happened. The commissioners followed that advice that was given by the board, and the second part of that is when it comes to the deputy warden, the advice there was given to post and go through the process, and that came back before the board, and the commissioners have agreed to do that as well. It's just everybody working together, but I would like to thank Jim for his years of service. And I wish Derek the best of luck.
That's all I have, Benjamin.
That is all. Everyone enjoy your holiday weekend, and please stay safe.